Hi everyone, welcome to Rachel Pickler Yoga. My name is Rachel. We are on the last day of our 7 days of yoga challenge. That makes it day 7, if I got all the fingers right. Today we're switching things up a little bit. We're gonna spend most of the time on our backs today. So we're actually gonna make our way there right now. So laying on down, we're gonna plant our feet and bend our knees. So just relaxing the shoulders and your head into the mat. I want you to bring your right knee in towards your chest and just hanging onto your shin here, very gently giving that knee a hug. And you can just let your knee rock side to side a little bit, just loosening up that hip joint. And just kind of feeling this through that right hip. Maybe in your glute, maybe in your quad. If you do want a little bit more here, you can straighten that left leg, but you're still hugging that right knee into your chest. And then from here, we're going to switch sides. So you can start to let go of that right knee, plant that foot, and bring your left knee into your chest, hugging that knee and just hanging onto your shin. And rocking it side to side a little bit, just loosening up that hip joint. Maybe extending that right leg out long if you want it. But just trying to relax the head and the shoulders on the mat. Awesome, you guys. Starting to let go of that left knee. We're going to bring both of our feet to the mat. So bend those knees. Plant your feet. And then bring your feet about hip width apart. So if your feet are together, just slide them away from each other a little bit. And also try to bring your heels as close to your hips as you can. Maybe you can actually touch your heels with your fingertips, but you don't have to actually touch your heels with your fingertips. So with an inhale, we're going to start to lift the hips off the mat. So you're going to push into your heels and start to lift those hips up off the mat. This is bridge pose. We're working those quads. You can squeeze the glutes here and then just keep lifting the hips. From here, you can have your hands in or on the sides of you, just pushing into the mat. You might want to wiggle up a little bit onto those shoulders. You can tuck those shoulders under, and you're just pushing into your feet. Feel those quads working, lifting those hips. Breathing, still drawing the belly button back towards your spine here. And just feel what you feel. Find your breath. Awesome, you guys. Take one more inhale. And exhale. Very slowly lower your hips back down. Take a second, maybe rock those knees side to side a little bit. We're going to go up just one more time. Short and sweet. Second set of bridge pose. So with an inhale, push into your feet, lift your hips, pushing your palms, your arms into the mat, lifting those hips nice and high. Feel those quads. You can squeeze your glutes if you'd like, but just drawing your belly button back towards your spine. Awesome, you guys. Let's take one more inhale. And exhale. Lower those hips all the way back down. Little windshield wiper. Let those knees rock side to side. Relaxing your head, your shoulders on the mat. So moving along, we're going to start to bring our feet off of the mat and our knees into our chest. So you can hang on to your knees here. I want you to bring your knees out nice and wide though. So just hanging onto the knees or onto the shins, and those knees are nice and wide. And you're just kind of encouraging them as if you could bring them to the floor beside you, kind of in that direction. Maybe rocking side to side here. And then if you're feeling good here, you can stay. But if you do want to try to reach for your feet or maybe for your shins or your ankles, you're going to just start to lift those feet away from your hips up towards the ceiling. And then maybe grabbing onto your feet, the outside of your feet, or maybe hanging onto your big toes. You can use your first 2 fingers and just wrap those around your big toes. We call those yogi toe grip, peace fingers. Maybe I don't know what it's called. So this is happy baby here, you guys. If you've ever seen a baby hanging onto their feet, and just know that we do this in yoga and it feels so good on the hips. So while we're here, you're just drawing your knees towards the floor beside you. You can rock side to side here. That feels good for you. Just relaxing the head and the shoulders on the mat. Nice work, you guys. Let's start to let go of the feet or the ankles. Lower them, lower those heels back to your hips, and then pull your knees back together. Let your feet hit the floor, and then just walk the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out wide, making a diamond shape with your legs. Just a few breaths here, feeling a little bit through those hips as you let the knees fall out to the sides. If you want to reach your arms above your head, go for it. Just feel your breath. Nice, you guys. Start to bring your hands and your arms back to your sides. You can place your hands on the outside of your legs and just help your knees come back together. And from here, you're going to start to pick those feet off of the mat. So lifting the knees towards the chest, you can hang onto the back of your legs to start here. And we're just going to send our feet up towards the ceiling. So I know a lot of you probably have a nice deep bend in these knees, and that is completely fine. You can straighten your legs as much as you can. We're working our low bellies here with our feet up and towards the air. So maybe your legs are straight. Maybe you've got a nice bend in those knees. I'll tell you, it's a little bit harder if you do have a bend in your knees, but who doesn't like to work, right? So just a few things to think about is your back is probably going to want to arch. Your low back's probably want to creep off the mat. I want you to suck it back down, kiss your low back to the mat. So drawing your belly button back towards your spine, really using your core strength here. Okay, feet are just hovering in the air. You're relaxing your head and your shoulders on the mat. You could take your palms and push them into the mat. That kind of helps suck that low back down towards the ground. Awesome, you guys. Just letting the blood flow out of those feet and back down into your body and all the way into your head. Nice work, you guys. Very slowly start to lower your toes and your feet all the way back down. Plant those feet and then walk your feet together. Let your knees fall out nice and wide, making that diamond shape with your legs. We're just going to place our right hand on our belly button and our left hand on our heart. And from here, you're going to close the eyes. You're going to feel the breath. Each inhale you take, feel your stomach filling up with air. And as you exhale, draw your belly button back towards your spine, releasing all of that air. Awesome, you guys. Slowly bring your hands back to the outside of your legs. Help your knees come back together. So our feet are going to be planted, and we're just going to lift the hips slightly and slide them over to the right side, just a little bit, just a little movement. And then your knees are going to fall over to the left side. We're coming into a twist. So let your right hip lift off of the mat. See if you can stack your knees on top of each other, and then checking in what your shoulders, how they moved on you. I want you to try to shimmy around so that that right shoulder comes back down onto the mat if it lifted up on you. You can take that left hand and just rest it on your knees just to help keep them in place. And then maybe take that right arm and reach it out to the side. Twisting. And just taking one more breath on this side. And use an inhale to lift those knees back up. Inhale. Plant those feet. Take a second to lift your hips up and then slide them over to the left side. So not the middle, but the left side. You got to skip the middle. And then you're just going to let your knees fall over to the right, letting that left hip lift up, let it stack on top of the right one. You can place your right hand on top of your knees to hold them in place, and then extending that left arm out to the side to keep that left shoulder down. Nice, you guys. Using an inhale, start to lift your knees all the way back up. Bring your hips so that they're in the center of your mat, or so your spine's in a nice straight line. And then we're just going to extend our legs out long. You're going to clasp your hands behind your head, pulling your chin towards your collarbone as you feel the length of the back of the neck. And looking at your feet here, just move them out so they're about mat width apart. Keep drawing the chin towards your collarbone, stretching the back of the neck. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, very slowly and gently. Place your head back down onto the mat. Resting your arms beside you. Flip those palms to face up. This is what we call Shavasana, our final relaxation, also known as corpse pose, where we lay nice and still with the eyes closed, just feeling the breath without letting the mind wander off onto all those thoughts that we want to think about. Just keeping that mind calm and still for just another breath. Awesome, you guys. So start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. You can start to open up your eyes, maybe rock your head side to side. And then bending those knees, planting your feet. We're just going to roll over to one side. And then push ourselves all the way up. Finding that comfortable seated position that we spend a lot of time in. And closing the eyes once you get there. Resting your hands on your knees or in your lap. And let's take one inhale together. And exhale out your mouth. Awesome job, you guys. You have made it through the 7-day challenge. This was geared or targeted towards, made for, whatever you want to call it, brand new yogis or people that are very new to yoga. So that I hope you guys learned a few things. If you have any questions at all, please ask. I love hearing from you guys. We kind of went through a lot of things that are common that you're going to see often in yoga classes. So I hope that you learned something new or you just refreshed something that you already knew. Lots of exciting things to come from me here, you guys. I'm brand new to YouTube, so I have a lot of exciting ideas for you guys. So feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along. But with all that, have a really awesome day, you guys. And until next time, namaste.